I had some grand lead-in to talking about this. I forget what I was watching that prompted the thought, but it doesn't really. I just wanted, let's just talk Turkey. Actually, U.S. There will not be some grand politician who will become president and fix all of our problems. Even if we get a Democrat, even if we get somebody who says they are a progressive, I won't trust that somebody actually is a progressive until after their term in office. But somebody who says they're a progressive and appears to be a progressive, even if we get that in office, they won't suddenly change all the things we're dealing with. And a centrist president will have a hard time preventing change if we pack the House and we pack the Senate. The House is easier than the Senate. We should probably be focusing on two things right now: House races and county commissioner races. Let's back up a little bit. MAGA is basically, when the things they're right on, they're right very broadly. And the things they're wrong on, they're wrong in such a way that you can basically say the opposite is true. You can define what the correct course is by just doing the opposite of what MAGA's doing. MAGA has this big expectation of the storm, this moment where all the bad guys are caught and all the work is done by somebody else. You know, the military is going to come in and point their guns and say, aha, and behind here is what we're going to say is all the conspiracy evidence, but we're not going to actually show it because, you know, we don't actually want to have to. We want to just say it's all in there. Anyway, there's our excuse. No more democracy. Hooray, we did it. Down with America. Whatever thing that MAGA's into. I realize the uvulating is done by the Afghani ladies historically, but who knows with MAGA. The opposite is true. But their sniffers are in the right direction. We actually do need to get rid of every MAGA politician. They have to go. They are inherently damage to our democracy. Just them holding a public office is damage to our democracy. They will try to break our democracy. Every Republican, as a matter of fact, that is in office needs to go. If they are still able to have the R next to their name, they have got to be out of office. But that's not going to happen with a FBI raid. It's not like one day we're going to have some glorious moment where the next phase of the January 6th trials start and like Marjorie Taylor Greene is out there saying like, y'all should kill trans folks. I mean, wink, y'all should deal with trans folks. I mean, child predators, wink. And then like a canister goes bouncing down the steps of the house and poof, smoke everywhere. And people go rappelling down the walls and zip tie her wrists. No. The work of getting rid of these traitors, of restoring a full and healthy democracy to the United States, it's going to be probably the work of the majority of the rest of our lives. And we should get the bulk of it done as quickly as we possibly can in the next election. It'll be really easy to identify these traitors before they go back into lay low mode, until they start calling themselves Democrats, possibly. The Trump appointed judges just got to wait. We literally just have to wait, but make sure that we are aware that they are there and watch what they do very closely to make sure they're not just willy-nilly tossing brown people in prison. But there is not going to be somebody else to do the work for us, and it's not going to. Sorry about the banshees and the hounds. But there's not going to be some group. 1 second. We can't just release the hounds. As satisfying as that might be to fantasize about. And if we could, if we literally could just say, arrest them all, we shouldn't. We need, as a people, as a voting populace, we need to have our shit together enough that we can get rid of them. Just by voting, just by saying, this person is not acceptable. I won't have this person as my representative in Georgia. There's no smoke grenade being tossed. There's no zip ties. It's as boring as the Democratic candidate wins because they get however many thousand more votes because you were on Facebook a lot sharing positive messages for their campaign and negative messages about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And you memorized the facts of whatever scandal finally gets Marjorie Taylor Greene low enough in people's eyes that she gets replaced. And we're going to have to do that with literally hundreds of House seats. Hundreds. Let's try to get the bulk of the work done now. But understand, especially when you carry this to viewing the presidency and that campaign and yada, yada, yada. I don't know that it's a good way to expend resources to gamble again with the presidency. We have a Democrat. We have theoretically a signature sitting in the White House. He will, if you genuinely think, oh, we have a real shot with this person or that person, or running someone against Biden will definitely make him more left. Cool. Do it. But don't do it at the expense of considering that your political work done. I think more important, first and foremost, and even setting aside even if Biden gets reelected or not, it's more important to have the House and Senate secured. Part of that work, incidentally, will include making sure your county commissioner is not a traitor. If it's a Republican, they're a traitor. If it's all right. They are at minimum traitor sympathetic. They may not themselves be a traitor, but they probably are. We cannot have the party that doesn't believe in democracy being in charge of the elections. You should start focusing on your county commissioner race today. That should be one of the main things you care about. I would like us to start targeting specific counties and try to get fans from there. But at the end of this first 2 for Tuesday segment on this very happy Halloween, I want to leave you with a piece of homework, if you don't mind. Just consider doing. Find out who your county commissioner is and see if somebody has announced that they're running against them yet. They probably haven't. This is actually, believe it or not, a bit early. It's the year before the election still. But nonetheless, see if somebody has already announced. Get familiar with who your county commissioner is. And don't feel bad if you don't know. I don't know, and I just had the idea for this segment. I'm Going to be looking that up myself. I'll tell you who mine is in part 2 of this. I'll come back on. We're gonna go a little bit later. I saw a friend of mine's having a premiere at 9 p.m. We're gonna let him ride. I'm gonna come on and do a show. I think like 11. Yeah, 11 o'clock. Let's hang out during the spooky hour. God, that seems late though, doesn't it? Let's say 10. I like 10 o'clock better. 10 o'clock Eastern. But do consider who your county commissioner is. Find out who your county commissioner is and start keeping tabs on those races. And as we need to work together, we will, in order to make sure that we have people that, at a minimum, believe in democracy in these positions.